welcome back to another card making tutorial. Today we're gonna work on a wedding card, and I'm using the beautiful Bride stamp and die set. It's Z4697, and it comes with the bride and all the accessories, so shoes, the cake, the rings, and some flowers to die cut. And then there are also a couple of phrases on there, and which we'll be using one. And I'm also going to use the new 5x7 card bases that we have, simply because I tried to use the bride on our quarter card, but she's a little bit too tall for the quarter cards. It just doesn't look right. So I decided to go with a bigger one, and it's a big event, so might as well use a bigger card base. And beside that, I also used the For Your Life Ahead stamp set for the inside. It's A12A2. It's still available, and I just thought that's a perfect sentiment to put on the inside of the card. And like I said, the bright stamp set is available as thin cut with the thin cuts or without, and I can link them below. As for the papers, we use a strip of the Cosette paper and some Mulberry Cardstock, including some glitter paper, and which is coming off because I only used the adhesive runner, try to adhere it. So the mulberry I use on the dark side, and I ripped it towards me so I get this nice white edge, and then just use the tape runner to put my strip of glitter paper behind. But if you ever have to adhere something to a glitter piece, use glue dots or liquid glue and let it dry properly. Alright, so the strip of the Cosette paper goes all the way to the left side of the card, and then I'm gonna adhere my mulberry piece with the glitter strip, hopefully attached to the card with some liquid adhesive. And liquid adhesive, that way I make sure it stays and it's easier, it doesn't move on me when I put it down. And if I have to adjust the glitter strip a little bit, I can do so, since the liquid adhesive gives me a little bit of time. And here finally the glue comes out. I guess I'm at the end of another bottle. Go figure, so I'm doing a video. So yeah, if you ever use glitter paper and you want to adhere something to that glitter paper, like I said, the tape runner will not go very well to adhere things together, so make sure you use liquid glue, or glue dots are even easier to use. All right, so you just line these two pieces up, and there goes the glitter strip to the right side of the card. And then I just make sure that my strip is evenly showing underneath the glitter one, and once I'm happy, I just leave it where it's at. And if you wonder about the smudges on the front there, this is actually a shadow I created for the bride, so she's not hanging in the air mid-air. So this gives her a little bit shadow under her dress. And the way I did this is I used the negative of my cutouts from the die cutting, and I lined it up on the card. I used the matching mulberry ink and one of our brushes, and just sponged on a little bit of the ink, so I get the nice outline of the dress, and I can just adhere her on top of it in a few minutes. So here I'm just putting some adhesive, liquid adhesive, on the phrase, and this phrase is also included in the stem set Beautiful Bride. Excuse me. And it just takes a moment to set, but in the meantime you just can handle it carefully. So I'm gonna put some foam dots underneath, and then put it in place. And you don't need a lot, it's just a small sign, but I like to pop this up a little bit. And then I can tuck my cake behind it. At least that's what I was planning on doing. So this is always nice. If you're not sure, just don't adhere it to your card. Just lay it down and see if you like it. So I'm gonna either tuck it behind, or maybe, no, I think I'm gonna raise that one too, just to give it a little bit extra pop. So a few more of my square dots, And I'm using square dots again because I run out of my thin tape, foam tape, and we're right now currently it's on back order, so these square dots just help. Square dots, that's an oxymoron. Squares, they're just nice and thin, and that's what I like, so it's not too bulky of a card, but it still gives it a little lift. All right, so let's put the card down, and then let's see where we want to place the cake. So the cake is going to go over on this side, and then I just remove the backing of the squares on my phrase. And once this is in place, we can adhere the bride to be on there. And I didn't do much coloring, so all the pieces, let's line it up first with the shadow. So as you can see, the shadow actually matches the dress perfectly because we use the negative space from the die cut. And so I just want to have it shown a little bit on the bottom, so it really looks like, you know, she's a little bit 3D on the card. And I just sporadically put a couple of those squares here and there. I leave the upper corner there of the dress open because this will end up touching the little phrase tag that we put down there, and this is raised, so I don't need extra there, and it doesn't really need a lot, just a few so it doesn't get bent and pushed in, but to hold it up on the card there are not that many needed. um what I was saying is, so we're gonna put the bright just a little bit above the shadow that we created, so it's kind of grounded on the card, otherwise she's floating in midair, which looks kind of funny. So always keep those negatives on hand, don't throw them away, you never know, you might need them. All right, so we put her down, and all the pieces are colored in. I just used some watercolor pencils because I didn't really want markers. The markers are too harsh. They're too dark for me. In this case, I wanted something softer, and watercolor pencils are just the perfect thing to use. So the shoes, I thought about putting them in the corner, but it kind of, I don't know, looks weird to me. So I'm playing around with them and end up putting them over under the sign, which the little tag there, because I think that just fits better. Make a little cluster over on that side than having them float on the other side. So for the inside, I use the other two pieces. The flowers fit nicely tucked above the phrase here on the inside of the card. And you can, you know, cut out as many as you want. You can decorate your front more, but I plan on putting a few more sequins in on the front and maybe some bling, but we will see. So the rings go on this side. And now what's left is just to use one of my black pen journaling pens and just do a little bit doodling on the inside of the card. I always like to do this because I think it finishes off a card on the inside too, even without a phrase that you might stamp or anything else, or just stamp a little flower or something on the inside just to make it look pretty. Here I'm just doing two hearts kind of like interlocking, and I spaced them out a little bit around the edges of the inside of the card, and then I gonna draw a couple lines in between them. And if you're afraid of using your pen and just go for it, just use a ruler. It doesn't really matter. Always when you do it by hand and it's free, it's a little bit wobbly, which just looks more natural. But if you want a clean card, you know, without that doodling, just go and use a ruler. Other than that, if you have not seen the Cosette paper yet, it is such a lovely paper pack. I just can't get enough of it. Make sure to check it out. I will link the link below in the description box. And other than that, I will put a couple of sequins and rhinestones on the front of the card, but I forgot to record that part, so just check out at the end the pictures and the still shots, and you will see how it was finished. It just needed a little bit extra bling, in my opinion. So thank you for watching. I hope you had fun. Remember to always keep your negative pieces from, die cutting. You never know, you might need them again. And as of the shimmer, I put a little bit extra shimmer on the veil. It's just clear shimmer, it doesn't show up on camera, and also gold on the rings, so it just gives it a little bit extra oomph. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching again. Have a great day, and don't forget to check out all the other videos. And if you like this video, I appreciate if you give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.